Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sonic Stadium's Saturday Raising Ring stream. I am your host, Nuckles87, and with me today is GX.
I'm the second person.
Yes, you are my sidekick today. So,
Does that mean I get to eventually become Nightwing, or which Robin am I?
um, you're, what's his name? Bat Cow.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
Do I get to at least drive in Mario Kart?
I mean, I guess, like, we're talking about
Cool.
Silver Age Batman here, or Golden Age, I forget. So, like,
I don't know. Batman's had a lot of sidekicks.
yeah. All right. So, today we are going to be going over, we are going to be doing a bunch of retro games on retro consoles. Specifically for today, we are going to be doing primarily Sonic character spin-off and adjacent games. So ideally things that GX will be somewhat new to you, GX, although I know the first one will not be, but the method with which we'll be doing it will be. Okay, now, so everything is analog aside from the way
The converter box.
aside from the converter box. So this means that I've got physical controllers connected with wires, and I've got to get up to switch inputs and all that stuff. But I think we're gonna be good today. So anyway, let's take down the little wallpaper here to show where we'll be playing the first couple games. Off of my Mega EverDrive Pro, which I think this is the first opportunity I've had to use it in a stream. So I am really looking forward to this. So our first game is going to be Tails Adventure there we are. Tails Adventure converted to the Master System.
Wizard Pinball converted to the Master System. Oh no, let's play VR Troopers.
What the heck? Okay, there we go. Okay, I was getting a little concerned there. All right. So,
Converter box need to figure out like what format of electricity. This is not Europe. Why do you own a Master System if this is not Europe? What's wrong? What's happening? Am I in Brazil?
Well,
those are the only two places.
Technically, as the converter box should know, this was a Sega Genesis that is running a Sega Game Gear game that has been converted to Sega Master System so that it will use the Sega Genesis's built-in backwards compatibility. And on top of that, it's also been hacked so that it will actually use the start button on the controller, something that was not native to Master System games, because the original Master System had the start button on the console.
Sure did.
Like, they were expecting kids to be sitting pretty close to that thing back in the day.
Well, I mean, that was the era where you were dealing with, like, Atari and subsequent similar devices for that. Like, Nintendo, obviously, Nintendo was not the first, but, like, between that and, like, the TurboGrafx were actually in the mindset of, like, no, the controller needs to control things on the console. It's important to do that.
Yeah, like, on the Atari 2600, you had those switches that would, like, directly have you picking game difficulty modes and stuff.
Yeah, you need to know if you're playing Game 1 or Game 2, and that's important to have at a console level.
So, yeah, this is all running on Master System hardware. And this is something that, like, Master System fans have been doing for years. Like, there is a program that you can use to convert basically any Game Gear game to run on the Master System, because the Game Gear, as I'm sure you know, it's basically just a Sega Master System with increased color palette. In fact,
Well, it's not just increased color palette. It's also slightly different resolution. I
that
see
too.
I see some big black borders, and I'm trying to figure out like, okay, is that it? So does this version particularly have edits to make sure you can see more of the screen?
It does actually.
Good.
You can actually like see parts of the screen that the game was not programmed for, so like things at the edges won't be loading in properly.
I believe it. Because the Game Gear had a notoriously low resolution. Now, like, obviously it was comparable to other things at the time. Like, yeah, the Game Boy also had a terribly low resolution.
Yeah, Game Gear, Atari Lynx, they all had pretty low resolutions.
And like, it shows for games like Sonic 2. Sonic 2, we will have the argument on if any version of Sonic 2 is reasonably playable, but Game Gear Sonic 2 is extremely not as playable.
Well, Sonic's 8-bit games definitely got better on the Game Gear once they started getting designed for the Game Gear.
Yeah.
Which, Sonic Chaos was kind of like the transitionary game for that, where, like, it was on both, but was definitely still pretty playable on the Game Gear. Whoa, man, I died. Where it was definitely still playable on the Game Gear, but it was also, like, super duper easy.
Oh, someone even hacked the title screen. SMS Deluxe!
Yeah, like, this is version 1.5C.
Cool.
Like, this is specifically the latest version of 1.5 that they hacked to include the start button functionality, which you need to, like, you know, not just pause the game, but also switch between Tails' equipment. Which at the moment I guess have a bomb.
I should check in on that fan remake version. That seemed to have a lot of promise.
But what's kind of neat about the Game Gear, I guess, is that it not only has a superior color palette to the Master System, it also has a superior color palette to the Genesis.
Wait, okay. You're gonna need to explain that to me. Superior in what way?
As in, it can display more colors on screen, and it has access to more colors.
So, total number of colors in all, but then also total number of simultaneous colors.
Yeah. So, like,
okay.
it can literally just produce more colorful games. Which is not something I would have thought of back in the day, but, like, I remember when I was a kid, I couldn't completely tell the difference between the Game Gear and Genesis Sonic games, and I guess maybe the colors were a part of that. Okay, I'm not gonna die here.
It just makes me think of the weirdness that was the TurboGrafx structure, because, like, it wasn't... I'm trying to remember the exact chipset of that, but it was something like... It wasn't a 16-bit system, but they jammed two 8-bit processors in it. It's like, it's comparable to all the other things, and, like, it made things very comfortable, and it was very... It was a very shooter-friendly system, but it certainly was not 16-bit in the time whenever other consoles were moving to 16-bit.
I mean, it was certainly way more capable than the NES or the Master System, and it also...
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Like, actually had a superior color palette to the Genesis. I don't know the particulars of it, but I'm guessing that the Genesis's colors were affected by the fact that it was kind of based off of the Master System's hardware, which is part of why, you know, backwards compatibility was possible.
They still got a lot of dynamic colors out of the Genesis, though, in the same way that they are right here, where it's just cycling through palettes.
Yep. They did eventually come up with plenty of tricks to make more colorful games. Okay,
it makes it a pain in the butt if you're trying to do stuff with sprite sheets.
Come on, you can get up there. Ah, dang it. Okay, I guess you... Okay, so I'm on
You
the
might need a
EverDrive.
Chaos Emerald
So
first.
I'm on the EverDrive. So is a Chaos Emerald around here?
I'm trying to think if it is. I think you're going the wrong way.
Ah, like
You can either go backwards and try to find something, or what do you only have bombs so far?
I only have bombs.
You should have something else by right now.
Like I've never played this game for very long. Like I've just never really sat down to give it. Oh hey, there's something down there. That might be what I need to get. See, can I get down? No. Oh, okay. For a second there, I thought I landed on spikes. Actually, there's something down here.
We can give a shout out. I'm looking at the schedule. I don't know if you go by a different handle. I do not see it on the schedule. What is the handle? Is it, or does it go by a different under a different name, or what are we talking about?
Let's see. I guess had the schedule up. I know that we're concurrent with somebody.
With
see.
Ultima Shadow X.
Yeah, Ultima
right
Shadow
now.
is on right now.
And then at 2 p.m., Breeding Boy starts up again, along with Polly B and Red Hot Sonic. Oh, jeez.
Okay,
and the Crit Gamer. But, hey, Alex. Other Alex.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Alex. BDR. Yeah. We're playing some Tales Adventure. And this is the first time I've seriously tried to play it, because I have no idea what I'm doing. But thankfully, GX, I think, has some idea.
I am the foremost expert in this game. No, I'm not. What I'm gonna do, though, is I'm going to head to VG Maps.
Okay, I think I need to move the spring over here.
Yep. Oh, yeah. That's your next step.
But, and they've also added a save function to this, instead of a password system.
That's useful. No, this is a actual Genesis playing an actual Master System conversion of an actual Game Gear game.
Yes! This game has gone through a lot of steps to be playable right now. Which is part of the reason why I'm doing it. I find it very novel.
I would say no emulation, but you've technically made it from Master System to Genesis, and I think that's at least considered some degree of emulation layer.
Well, as far as I know, it's like direct hardware compatibility.
Oh, okay. The Genesis can do that. That's surprising.
Yeah. Like
not something I knew about it.
If you can just all I've done here is slap a Master System ROM into a Genesis, and it's working. Okay, let's save again. Although, the EverDrive is allowing me to do save stakes, but that's purely an EverDrive function. If I put this on a Master System cart and used a Master System pass-through converter, then it would also just work.
Yeah, it's inherently designed to run states, so adding a save state functionality makes a lot of sense.
Okay, maybe I need to go this way.
Where's the game map? Here we are.
There we go. Okay, nope, nothing over there. Okay, I'm beginning to think that spring did not take me where I was trying to go.
Okay. I am looking at it. Okay, that's Pauli Forest Part 1. Let me jump. I think you're in Part 2 right now.
No, this is the first. I'm pretty sure this is the first area.
I mean the second part of the first area. Okay. So, what do we have here? So, your goal ultimately, from where... No, you're not where I think you are.
Okay, so I need to go past. So I need to go past the spring.
Okay. Based on where you are, if you go up. Oh wait, no, you need some for that. Yeah, continue to the right.
Okay. Oh, god damn it! It moved the spring.
Yeah, Tails Adventure has very low memory of where everything is and the state of everything is. Everything pretty immediately respawns or resets as soon as you leave. Okay. The next thing I think you want to fly over the gap.
Gap? I'm assuming that's coming up.
The first bridge, with a hole. Not the one with the spikes, but the one coming next. The one that you fell down before. I think you can just fly over, but you're gonna have to fly. You can't just jump it.
Alright.
Or wait, no.
Oh, there's
no,
wind.
It's the opposite. You're gonna have to jump it. I'm sorry,
Okay.
You're not gonna be able to fly.
Alright.
There you go. You're gonna run into radio item coming up soon.
Ah! Okay, this
I
thing.
don't think you can get it, because you're going to need the robot for that. But it's just the radio, so it's not required. The more important thing is, if you stick to the top path, you're gonna get your first emerald.
Ah, okay. Man, this feels like it's something I should have just kept doing before. I'm guessing I must have, like, tried falling down that bridge.
The issue is, there are the way the winds work in this game is, if there is some sort of forced wind, it will impact your flight, but it does not impact your standard jump.
No, okay.
So you have to know when to fly and when just to jump.
Okay.
And there's your first emerald.
Oh, so they're all in this kind of thing.
Yep, that's the item thing. So that's automatic. You don't need to equip that, and you can continue down and to the right to fight the first boss.
Ooh. Oh, you know what? I've gotten this far before. Oh, good. I got a whole bunch of rings. I can remember the first boss is like a bird walker thing.
I think you're almost at, like, so, yeah, every emerald is worth 10 rings, to your max health, and then it also extends your flight slightly. So 20 should be your max. I wouldn't spend too much time looking for more. It's gonna be weird to find more, and you might just risk taking more damage.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be looking for any more emeralds right now.
No, I meant more rings.
Ah. I got 17, that's plenty.
It probably is good enough to get you there.
Okay, so I guess I need to find the boss now.
Yeah, that boss is much harder if you don't at least have that first emerald.
Gosh darn Tails.
You can just drop down.
Okay.
I think.
There we are.
There we go.
Why didn't I just go that way before?
I don't know.
Okay.
You're the one doing loops.
But honestly, this does feel like a gameplay type that's perfect for Tails. You know, something that's more thinking and exploration and focused.
I mean, I've always loved this game.
It's a shame that they've never revisited this idea.
Even still, it just kind of needs, you could have this version, and I'm glad there's some fan versions out there that add the polish that it kind of needs, just because it's a decent game. It's a bit on the slow side, but otherwise, like, you just need something to, QC it up between saves and, like, auto-change weapons and stuff. Yeah, just go all out. Just go all out. You can, DPS him.
There we go.
There you go.
All right.
Now you got your robot.
Excellent. I'm gonna save right now.
Well, it's the end of the stage.
Yeah, but still, I'm not taking any chances.
Now, you have two options here. If you decide you want to go back and run some cleanup, there are a few items you can get with the robot now.
Yeah,
Not
I
a whole
remember
lot,
one.
but some. There's still things that you cannot get until you have the napalm.
Yeah.
But you should be able to get some speed shoes if you want them, and you should be able to get the radio if you want it.
All
You
right.
certainly don't need either of those to continue progressing, but it's an option.
Well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get them.
Personally, I would leave because then you could refill your health
Well,
as you go back.
that is why I did my save state there. So
Okay.
like, if this proves to be too difficult, I can just go and not get a game over. So does this game not have lives, like, at all?
No. You run out of health and it's a game over.
Damn.
It's a Metroidvania. They made a Sonic Metroidvania.
For the Game Gear,
Quite
of all
honestly,
things.
can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Honestly, just find a safe place and wait there, and then launch your robot.
Oh yeah. I haven't tried to do that yet. Okay, well there's my first thing that I want to try to get. Oh yeah, start button.
Because you can get everything on the screen with the robot,
Oh
like
wow,
without
so this
having
thing
to
is
go
like
back.
completely autonomous, huh?
Yeah.
Anything
Don't
show?
worry about damage. It's just invincible, and
huh.
whenever you reel it back in, it will just go directly back to you.
Okay.
So it's very good for scouting.
Well, this is actually really cool.
Yeah, you don't even have to jump if you don't want to.
Okay, so I can get to this thing now.
Yep. The only stipulation is it has no meaningful attack. So you are going... So basically, anything that would
Speed boots.
require a bomb to get through, it cannot get through. Which is not important here, but is important in the next stage.
Oh, dang it. I accidentally pressed recall.
The other issue is, yeah, it takes a while because it actually physically moves back to Tails. No matter how far it is.
But anyway, I think I saw the...
As a reminder, in fact, I'm going to
Oh, right,
go
we need
ahead
to pin
and do
that.
this now. Let me go ahead and work on some reason for the season management, if I can get the proper URL for where you should be heading.
Yeah,
You
still,
being the audience.
yeah, man, I got completely caught up with this. I forgot about that.
That's okay. I figured I would help with that.
And can you
So-
pin things in the chat for me?
I can pin things in chat.
All right.
So, hey, as a reminder, reason why we're here today is we are helping the Raising Rings charity drive, run by Sam Procrastinates, who is looking to basically raise about 10,000 pounds.
We're already more than halfway there.
Oh, yeah, it's like 6,000. It's approaching 7,000 so far. It's very impressive, and I'm very pleased about that. For Special Effect, Special Effect is a charity in the UK that works to provide tech and resources and software to basically allow for increased accessibility of video games over in the... basically, hey, if you are a person who is in a hospital stay or have a disability or are recovering in some way, shape, or form, and you can't normally use the standard controller for games, there are options out there, and some people just need to know what those options are. Some people need specialized options or specialized controllers, or some people just need access to the specialized controllers that already exist. They have some cool stuff that they're doing, including a lot of things involved with game control through eye movement, which is always incredibly impressive to me.
Yeah. I didn't even know that they had technology like that.
I did not know that
cool.
you could apply. So eye movement is it's kind of been useful. Maybe not eye movement. I should specify head tracking. Head tracking is something that I am aware of in the racing scene, but specific eye movement I have not been. That is interesting and new to me.
And now I'm dead. Okay, so, well, can I continue from where I left off? Yes, I can. Excellent. So, did I interrupt you?
No, I'm checking on chat for something. But yeah, use the link in chat there. We have it pinned up top. If you are watching in a VOD or watching on YouTube, I will make sure that it goes into the description. Obviously, you do not have to donate while we are live, but it makes it fun. But also,
yeah, you know,
it's nice to donate whenever you can, and we appreciate it.
Oh, good. My rings are back up to 20. Excellent. Ah. Anyway, we will be moving on to the next game pretty soon, but this is the first time I've been in this area. Ah, my first power-up. Or emerald or whatever.
Nice. I stopped following the map while I was trying to manage another conversation happening elsewhere.
Ah.
Yeah, Hammer, I don't know if Hammer will actually be useful in any meaningful way. Like, the next big thing you're gonna want is gonna be the remote bombs. So... that's your next major upgrade, and you will encounter it on the screen.
I'm guessing Speed Shoes lets you run?
Yep. Seems so. I don't think it's especially useful, but, like, I mean, when I was running with this game, a lot of what I was doing was basically, why blow up mouse there? When I would run through this game, it would be pretty normal for me to have, like, at least 2 different kinds of bombs with me at all times, just because there's so many specific cases and you don't want to have to leave the stage. This is, like I said, I think there's a lot of potential here. I think it's just a lot of quality of life issues, and one of those quality of life issues is not always knowing what your loadout is going to be going into a stage, and having to quite possibly leave a stage in order to readjust your loadout after having gotten pretty far in. Yeah, I like this game a lot, but it's not to say that I like every aspect of it.
Well, you know,
it still has
it's an 8-bit Metroidvania. Like, even 8-bit Metroid had plenty of issues back in the day.
For sure. For sure.
Well, I'm probably dying again pretty soon. Okay.
You don't have to kill the mouse.
Really? It doesn't hurt you?
Yeah. No, I'm saying you could just go away from him.
No, I've got to kill everything.
I mean, you are welcome to take that stance if you want.
Tails leaves no prisoners.
It doesn't come with a recommendation. Radio changes the background music.
Really?
Yeah, it's purely aesthetic. There are a handful of things on here that are not particularly
Man, that's
useful per
weird.
se, but could be. Well, that's, I mean, in any other, like, if the game just let you swap items all of the time, it'd be fine. But considering that,
Well, that's
okay,
weird.
so you're going a little bit too far ahead. You missed something important. So stay in the robot,
Oh, okay.
but you can head downward. There's other options.
Man, this thing's even lava-proof. I'm impressed.
Oh yeah,
Ah!
enough. It takes no damage.
I love the helicopter function on this thing. It's kind of like the morph ball, except kind of with more utility. Ah, remote bomb.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really useful. The only problem is it can't like do things except pick things up. It can pick things up, but it can't do things. So remote bombs particularly useful. Just
Do I need,
see,
do I need to go
now
back?
you need to go back. Unfortunately, there's an item that I think lets you instant leave.
Well, I went back
but
one way.
yeah, I'd say just continue from where you just use the continue function, and then respec your loadout.
Okay. Come on. I was wondering why this it let me have an equip button, because it seemed like it let me equip everything, but okay. Now I see why. Okay, so I guess I will take out the speed shoes. And I will take out the radio. Oh, remote bomb. Okay. Oh, can I not just have an empty slot? Huh.
I don't think you can actually. I think they do. I think once you have 3 full, or once you have an slot empty, you can't deslot it. At least not in any way that I remember. Which gets a little bit frustrating whenever you start to get new stuff in.
Oh.
Like I said, I really need to try to check up on how that fan remake is doing.
So is it like a direct visual remake, or does it also like change level design?
So it's it's a complete code remake. It's in a different, more standardized engine, or standardized, not engine, programming language, not assembly. And effectively it's like, hey, increased resolution, widescreen, and then you can change items without pausing. I believe you can just assign it to, like, shoulder buttons if you want to swap between them. Beyond that, like, whenever I first saw it, it was pretty early, and only had, like, a little bit of the game back whenever it was being shown in, I believe, a Sage year. And I did it was one of the ones I did a write-up on, but,
well, I hope it's still going.
Yeah. I checked on the GitHub a little while back, and I think it got a semi-recent update, like, at least within the past year, I want to say, but it might be playable to the end, I am saying, without having confirmed this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's. I think it's, and if it's anything else, it might just be like features and bug fixes or something.
Yeah, Donnie Retro, I'm having fun here. This is probably technically the best Sonic character spin-off game, which I know for most isn't really saying much, but you know, it's at least better than Shadow.
Well, so I'm assuming in this case, so there is a way to do this, and you have the tools.
Uh,
Don't worry, you can't hurt yourself.
Okay. I don't know. When I saw remote bomb, I thought it meant like
No, it's just like what's it
it'll
called?
move.
Bomberman.
Oh, there we are. Okay.
Yep. Now, you just have to go up and under.
Oh, yeah. I do love Tails' ability to grip things.
But yeah, I was gonna say I'm surprised you don't feel that way about Shadow Generations.
Oh, well, I don't consider that its own standalone game. It's it's linked to Sonic Generations. Okay. I was talking about Shadow 05.
Oh, I know, but that's what you meant. But yeah, this one at least has some design ideas. We'll say. Yeah, you're just gonna have to time it. You're just gonna have to time it. And I don't mean blow it up, I mean just time it.
I'm a version of Tails that always turns to violence. Alright. Ah, dang it. Alright, I think that is a good time to switch over to the next game.
What is the next game?
Oh, actually, I don't even have to get up for this one. So, I am sure that you are aware of the tale of Sister Sonic.
I have heard a tale or two.
Oh, whoops. I accidentally went back into that. Just to use the Master System menu, I have to use the B button. But then for Genesis, it's A, and that keeps throwing me off. Okay. So, yeah, I have the Mega EverDrive Pro, which lets me play Sega CD games on here. And I thought that we would take a look at Popful Mail, which was the game that at one point Sega had been intending to make into Sister Sonic.
Interesting. So this does support as a CD. Does it require any additional hardware, or is it straight through the cartridge?
Well, the cartridge has FPGA to emulate the Sega CD.
I'm just curious if, like, the cartridge read capabilities allowed for that, but okay.
Specifically
neat.
On the Sega Genesis, it does. Now, the function will not work through the 32X because apparently it lacks all of the correct pins.
Oh, right. Well, 32X has a lot of weird stuff. Like, 32X hijacks part of your output in order to be able to put something on the TV. If I understand correctly, it's like... Isn't it that the 32X unit itself powers, like, some of the physical layers of the output, and then the Genesis itself powers the other layers?
I know that the Sega Genesis does also contribute to the graphics on screen, as well as the audio. Like both pieces of hardware do work in tandem. And also, if you run this thing on a Nomad or a Genesis 3, you will not get the Red Book audio. So if the audio...
You don't say!
So if the audio utilizes the Sega Genesis, then it will work. But you won't get voices and you won't get Red Book audio, which, oddly enough for this game, you will get music on the Nomad, because apparently it uses the Genesis hardware for that.
Makes sense.
Which it is kind of surprising to me.
Meanwhile, while Knuckles is dying...
There are a few games like the Sonic CD uses that for its past music.
So this is... Well, number one, it looks like it's frozen. Is it playing audio at you?
It's playing audio, yeah.
Okay.
She is talking about the history of the world, and it's being all epic and stuff. And it should be over now.
Yeah, I largely know this as a
I'm just gonna...
as sort of like a interesting little maybe just a super anime styled action RPG. Is that about right?
Oh yes, this is
it's Falcom.
extremely...
Yeah, if it's Falcom, it's an action RPG.
This is an extremely anime game. And I do have an existing save file on the RAM card, which I'm going to ignore, because I want to start from the beginning. So this was made by a partnership between Sega and Falcom called SEGA Falcom. And as I was saying...
Falcom, the maker of all of the Ys games.
I really wish that you could hear the voice acting here, because it is very 90s anime dub. Which, like, honestly, by the standards of the time, I think is actually pretty solid.
Oh, sure. Like, the 90s there is like, what are you gonna do? But there wasn't a good, Oh, that dummy was alive!
Yeah, she's actually hunting someone.
Blood.
She's actually hunting someone right now.
Oh, this is 90s anime as hell.
Yes, it is very goofy.
Just immediate style change.
But she's like fighting puppets right now.
Okay, apparently they are full of straw now that I have a good look at it.
Yeah.
It looked like they were implying it was blood.
Yeah, I suspect that was probably the intention. But this is not that violent of a game.
But yeah, Nihon Falcom, a very busy developer with a very inconsistent output.
So I guess want to say this guy's name is Muttonhead, and she is our initial target. Although she, after failing here, she gets wrapped up in a much bigger adventure. But, so, Sega's initial intention was they were going to make this into a Sonic spin-off in order to, make it sell. And this was including in Japan. For a while, they thought it was believed that it was just for the Western localization, that it was going to be global. But thanks to a letter writing campaign from fans of the original game, Sega instead just made it a much more faithful port.
That's probably fair. God, I don't know what... I have some senses of what it is, but there's something specifically I love about the aesthetics of, like, 80s and 90s anime. Like,
yeah, it's very distinct for its time.
Yeah, it feels like... I don't know what it is, but it just feels like lines and shapes are just kind of a bit softer in their... edge. I don't know. It feels like it's exaggerated in ways that I really like.
Yeah, and like the eyes are smaller and there's a little more detail in the face versus
But also it has no issue with just jumping between styles immediately.
Yeah.
Like deep inconsistencies in that sense.
But like, ultimately, it was, I'm sure, for the best that this got that this stuck to being pop full male, because as far
There's
as
a Sonic
I know,
right there.
Like, this is the only localization of this game that we even got. Oh, that guy's Muttonhead. Okay, well, I forget the name of the initial guy she was chasing now. But like the fact that that's the name of the big bad guy should give you an idea of the tone of this, in addition to everything.
Oh yeah, this like I think my most childhood point of comparison for this was that and don't ask me to remember anything about it, but I sure did watch a lot of Moncoli Nights back in the 90s.
Huh.
Like, whenever I think it was WB
Yeah.
networks that showed that in particular as broadcasters were starting to kind of figure out, it's like, oh, we could save money and get these cartoons from Japan and for way cheaper than having major studios make them, and they're very popular.
Yeah,
But
and like to an extent that is still true.
oh, sure. But
And, so thankfully you are going to be getting text here, so you'll get a bit of an idea of her character.
it's fine. I can pick up on the context clues.
But anyway, while this is going on, so like, as a gamer, I think I am kind of happy that this stuck as Popful Mail. But as a Sonic fan, like, imagine if we had gotten this as Sister Sonic, like that would have changed significantly the early aspects of this franchise, like a whole brand new character and a whole brand new spin-off.
I don't necessarily think that's true.
Like, I don't know. I would assume that this probably would have been a decently big Sega CD release in the same way, at least in the same vein as Sonic CD.
That much might have been true. It probably would have gotten a stronger marketing push. I would say that.
Amy wouldn't have been like the sole female character from the games. Like Sonic would have had some sort of female relative in early media, whereas now, of course, he's not allowed to have relatives. So I don't know, like it would have been neat, but
I also think like this is so dramatically different that
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, two issues. Number one, it's so dramatically different. Number two, it would still be part of a agreement with Nihon Falcom, which
Yeah.
probably itself would have some complications.
Although
there.
I do know that this was on the Sega Mega Drive Mini,
The second
too,
one.
in Japan.
Yeah.
And it only didn't really. And one of the reasons why it didn't release here was because Sega doesn't hold the rights to the localization because they ultimately just gave it to Working Designs.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
And everything from Working Designs is apparently owned by like one guy, although there is some dispute on that. But I don't know, like those early rights are always a little weird.
Yeah. Sure is.
But unfortunately, that is why we did not get any of those dubs here.
Well, did the Lunar, I think there was a Lunar collection recently.
There is a Lunar collection. They completely redid the voice acting.
Okay, that
And that is actually where I heard
makes
that
sense,
apparently who owns what is in dispute.
Yeah.
And that may have been one reason why they did not include the original voice actors, because they weren't sure who owned what.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense then. I'm trying to think of like what I have that would be under the I don't know, the lock and safe of Working Designs. I at least have a physical copy. I'm trying to think if I have No, I don't think I have. Okay, no. I have Lunar for Saturn.
That would be a Working Designs game. But wait, no. But you have the Japanese version.
I think I have the Japanese version. I'm not sure.
I don't think we got the Sega Saturn localization of that.
Okay, then I probably have the Japanese version. Whenever I bought my Saturn, it came with a Game Shark or stuff, and then it also came with a whole bunch of just a big variety of games that were like, well, I'd be stupid not to buy this. It has all of the games that I would probably want, except for like 2. And then it became a struggle to find the 2 because every Saturn game that is localized is 5 times more expensive than the Japanese version.
Yeah, yes it is.
No,
This
what I was
is-
thinking of is I'm trying to think if I have Magical Night Ray Earth. That is also a Working Designs localization.
Well, if you do, that is a very rare game.
I probably don't. Maybe I'm just thinking of the DVD set.
Like, I am at a point where I just got a flash card for all this stuff. I'm not buying this crap anymore. It's too expensive.
No. So okay. Do you want to hear my Saturn collection? I
Yeah,
can list
sure.
it. So what I got, and some of this is because it came with it. Some of which is because I think I can recall which ones came with it and which ones didn't. So I have an import. I have an import Sonic Jam, because of course I have an import Sonic Jam.
Of course.
I have Sonic 3D Blast. I don't think that one's an import, but I'm not certain. I have Knights. Knights is localized. I got it in a big box with the big dumb plate controller.
Yeah.
I have Christmas Nights.
Like, the next
I
games
have-
are, like, the most easy to get.
Yeah. I'm just surprised I got it, like, complete in box. It might have been sealed. I don't know. I've got an import Burning Rangers, because of course I've got an import Burning Rangers.
Although I'm pretty sure that did have the English localization on it.
I don't remember. I'd have to double check. Yeah, I am just saying my games collection. Look, Knuckles would be particularly interested in this, I think.
It's nothing compared to mine, anyway.
No, it is nothing compared to yours. This is where it starts to get weird. These are the things that I think came with it that I did not buy myself. I have Virtua Fighter Remix.
Oh, nice!
I don't know what that... Like, I understand it's not Virtua Fighter. I don't understand what makes Remix different.
Okay, so, Remix is basically just an improved version of the original game.
Okay, so it's your Super Street Fighter to Street Fighter.
Like, they, instead of flat-shaded polygonal characters are textured, it's just a better port than the original, than the first one, I think.
Gotcha. I have,
I own Shining Force 3.
I've got Fighters Mega Mix. I think I did specifically get that one. I have Virtual On. I think that came with it. I have struggled to get that to meaningfully work because, as you had said about Virtual On before, the Sega Saturn is not a dual-stick console.
Yeah,
But they put a dual-stick game on it.
And they did release a dual-stick peripheral for it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, Clockwork Knight I would love to have, Alex, but that is not one of them. I do have a stall.
If you can get Clockwork Knight 2, you'll have access to both.
Really?
Yes. The second game is unlockable. I forget how you do it, like if it's a code or something. But
that's very weird.
Someone released a hack that just unlocked the game, and you can play both halves on the sequel.
Oh, jeez. But Bug would be fascinating to have, I think.
And
I don't
would be
think
affordable too.
Okay, good to know. Good to know that I could buy Bug if I needed to. I have a stall, so you'll be happy.
Yes.
I have Lunar. Probably an import. And then the last thing I have, God help me, I have Gex for Saturn.
You know what? That is not a terrible game. It just has lots of cringy pop cultural humor.
It is insufferable in its I watched a Gex, I think Gex 64 playthrough or something somewhat recently, and the problem is all of the lines are bad. They're all bad. They're all absolutely terrible. But he only has like 5 of them per level, and he says them at a rate of
Oh,
like
no.
at least once a minute.
So
And
they unlocked the power of the CD, but then they forgot to. But they couldn't afford to record more lines.
apparently or something. So it's just he just he replaces the same lines like over and over and over again, and it's just absolutely insufferable.
So to circle back to what Alex Hyde and BR said, in terms of working design controversies, the only ones I'm aware of is that they are notorious for making their games more difficult. And so a lot of there are fan hacks out there that are called unworking designs, which revert games back to their original Japanese difficulty. I'm playing just the stock regular one.
I need to find mods to deconvert a few of those, like any Contra game, specifically Contra Hardcore, please,
Yeah.
please,
And
please,
also,
Konami.
now, in addition to that, I know a lot of people hate the scripts. Like, from what I have seen of working designs' work, I don't think it's bad. Like, yeah, there are some
For the era.
Like, there are some Western jokes and stuff, but it's not like 4Kids level stuff here.
It's what I've seen
not
so
from what I've
like.
seen.
let me put it this way: if this was an anime that I was watching, it would 100% have been dubbed by ADV. Like that this BS is ADV's wheelhouse, and they would have put whatever the heck jokes in it that are localized, whatever he was like. Part of the joy of that is just like, okay, I need to know how the hell you're going to localize whatever the heck this thing is. It looks fun.
This is a fun game. I actually played several hours of this when I first got my EverDrive, and I was trying to figure out what to go with.
I think what I find interesting about the aesthetic is, aside from just it being 90s anime, not a lot of games really go for this aesthetic in their sprite work. Like, obviously, hey, the video's the video, the full image screens are the full image screens. I don't see a lot of sprite work that really tries to replicate that style in the same way. It usually goes for something a little bit more. I don't want to say traditional. Maybe detailed. Maybe the more detailed version of anime faces, I suppose. Like it feels very reminiscent of what you would expect to see in like a top-down RPG and how they would design a character.
Yeah.
I think about a night or two ago, I was watching a stream of someone playing High Seas Havoc.
Yeah.
For Genesis.
Didn't know I could do this.
And the character sprite work on that was actually pretty nice. I was impressed by it. It was otherwise kind of an unnecessarily difficult game for what it was, but I like when they lean into the sort of half chibi anime of it.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next game now, since I got a game over, and I didn't save. I wasn't going to, but I also didn't think I'd die that early. So I'm going to be moving on to the, I guess, okay, one more game on the Genesis, and then I'm moving on to the next platform. But I do have to get up for this one to reset it.
Over the land.
All right, and we are moving on to the first SEGA mascot. Now, GX, who was the first SEGA mascot?
I believe the first Sega mascot was Opa Opa.
You are right. A lot of people do assume that it was Alex Kidd, but it was in fact Opa Opa of Fantasy Zone, who recently appeared in Sonic Rumble. And this
Indeed.
is the Master System port of the game.
Suck it, Alex Kidd. You're not in Sonic Rumble. So I didn't think there was much that they could offer me in terms of, like, hey, unlockable characters and skins that I would really be that interested in Sonic Rumble. And then they found one.
But, yeah, and Fantasy Zone is a game I've been a fan of for many years. Like, I discovered this on the Virtual Console, and I like, you know, I had heard some basic trivia about it, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll try it out. I'm a Sega fan. And, like, yeah, this was one of those Master System games that really grabbed me, even though it's hard as hell.
Yeah, it's just a really bizarre cute-em-up, which, like, cute-em-ups at the time were still really novel. Like, we had our horizontal and vertical shooters, but giving them a much more distinct aesthetic was still... It was significant, but it was also something that Sega was particularly good at, because, or at least particularly interested in, because, like, Fantasy Zone's contemporary from Sega would have been like, why do I... Problem is, I always want to call...
Twinbee?
I wasn't thinking Twinbee, I was thinking, the front-facing shooter from Sega,
Oh, Space Harrier.
Space Harrier! The problem is... Okay, they keep saying "Welcome to the Fantasy Zone," so I keep thinking like, "Oh, that game's Fantasy. That game's not Fantasy Zone. That's Space Harrier."
Yeah, but they are in the same universe, which I don't think was something they did very often back then.
Well, so there is the bizarre Namco shared universe from the are you familiar with this?
With what?
With the Namco arcade shared universe.
Oh, no, I don't think I am. I might recognize it the moment you say it, but I can't recall it at the time, right now.
So, let me tell you about the UGSF official timeline, a website that has its own website. So I'm just going to list games that are considered to be all part of the same universe and timeline that that Namco continues to maintain to this day. The earliest in the actual timeline is Ace Combat 3 Electrosphere, which apparently happens in 2040.
Okay.
Then we have Cyber Sled. Then Cyber Commando. Then we have Burning Force. We're already 100 years later.
Really? Burning Force
Yep.
is in the same universe as Ace Combat.
It's gonna get better. It's gonna get so much better. Then, about 100 years later past that, is Galaxian Project Dragoon, which is Galaxian 3.
Huh.
Then we have Galaxian 3, The Rising of Gurb. Then we have Galaxian, which is within 100 years. Then Galaga, which is like 2 years later. Then, I'm gonna try to pronounce this, dear God. Bosconian.
Whoops.
Then Gapless. Then Galaga 88. Then Blastoff. Then Final Blaster. Then Bounty Hounds. Then Attack of Zolgear.
So this is an official thing.
This is I can send you the website. This is an official Namco page. Then Starblade. Then Nebula's Ray.
This feels like a fan. This feels like a fan theory.
Then, Alex. Then, Dig Dug.
Dig Dug is in the same universe as Ace Combat.
Dig Dug isn't. No, but hold on, it's just Ace Combat 3.
So Ace Combat 3 is not in the same canon as the other Ace Combats?
I don't believe so. No.
What's
Then
even the
Dig
point in
Dug
that?
2. Then Baraduke. Then Bakotsu Kaijite Baraduke 2.
Oh, Jesus.
Then Mr. Driller, of course, because Mr.
I
Driller is
have heard that
canonical
Mr. Driller
with
is
Dig
in the
Dug.
same universe as Dig Dug. I'm aware of that specifically. Okay, I think I might be in a corner here.
Indeed. Then Star Trigon, then Star Luster, then Star Ixium, then oh no, that's not a. Is that a game? Project D Second? No, that's a program. Then Misurio Blood, the game, which I had to look up, and if you have a chance to look this up, I recommend it because it's like, what is going on with this? This is nonsense. Then Starblade, Operation Blue Planet. Then Shin Gun Destroy, Girls Tank Battalion. Then Gallica Legions. Then New Space Order. Then your favorite and mine, Shadow Labyrinth.
Huh.
Shadow Labyrinth, fake space Dark Pac-Man Metroidvania.
So Shadow Labyrinth is in the same universe as Dig Dug.
Yep. It's in galactic year 3333.
Huh. So
and then the last one in the timeline currently is Thunder Scepter, which takes place 3,000 years after Shadow Labyrinth. It's the only one that's that far in the future.
Jesus.
It's like Shadow Labyrinth is 3333. Like, we started in 2040, we ended at 3333, and then Thunder Scepter is like 7650. It's like, what's going on? Like, it's like way far in the future. It's still technically connected, but more, like 4,000 years. But yeah, I'm gonna put this in chat because it's hilarious and I love it.
So is this something you just discovered?
No, I've known about this for a while, on and off, but it's only recently been updated with a bunch of new entries since Shadow Labyrinth was announced. So it was like, oh, we guess we're gonna update this. It's the weirdest thing, but
They
it is
need to come up
official.
with some sort of crossover story involving all of these things.
They
But-
don't. They
No.
really don't.
No, they need to. Like, they need to, like, have, like, a, you know, something that somehow takes place in multiple eras.
Really don't. I don't think they do. I don't think we need the Super Robot Wars of the UGSF timeline.
Oh, we absolutely do.
Well, okay. You know what? I'll give it to you in this interpretation. If they do it, because of the nature of what most of these games are, it should be some form of flight shooter game, space
how about
or
how about
sky
like a flight
or.
shooter or Musuo?
Ooh, I'm trying to envision this now. Do you just do you control the spaceship on a map and then just 1,000 things come at you and you just shoot them in crazy magical anime animations or something?
Yeah, and I guess you also can, like, get a big-ass sword.
No, unfortunately, Alex, Pac-Man and Tekken are not included in this timeline. It's honestly, it's mostly their space shooters, and also Dig Dug's there for some reason.
So, Dig Dug is gonna have to get some sort of Musuo power, and also like a spaceship.
His son is kind of the more important character these days, I would say. Like, the story of Dig Dug is that they had a son. That son gained the title of Mr. Driller, and effectively, but unfortunately, that Dig Dug and his wife divorced, but he is still in contact with his son on a regular basis or something.
Are you telling me a real lore right now?
I think that's the case. I'm going to look it up to confirm that I'm accurate.
Anyway, I wanted to take a little look at Super Fantasy Zone because, in addition to it just giving you a more accurate idea of what Fantasy Zone is versus the Master System version, it's also just my favorite game in the franchise. Although I've never really gotten past, like, the third level. Like, these games are hard.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty challenging,
Oh,
but
dang
I
it!
did.
I was about to save state, god damn it. Anyway, after
So
this... Yeah.
Dig Dug, his name is Taizo Hori, the character. And, let's see, I'm trying to make sure I have this correct. This does not provide significant information about the man that I am trying to look up. Come on, help me out here.
One downside of these save states is that it can disable the music, depending on the game. But I'm almost at the boss, so that will resolve shortly, unless I get shot again. I'm almost
Okay,
there.
except Dig Dug lore, I will
Yes!
search for Mr. Driller lore.
Huh.
Yeah, Alex, I have heard of Namco High before. It's very strange.
Ah!
It was an interesting, weird project.
One weird thing about this is that it can, like, also, like, lock in music from other parts of the game back to where you save stated. Alright. I'm gonna save state right after this. Because I want to at least last a few seconds against the boss.
Taizo Hori, better known by his identity Dig Dug, is a divorced father. He is the chairman of the Driller Council and solved the Dig Dug incident of 1982.
Jesus.
He is the father of the person who is currently holding the title of Mr. Driller. The Mr. Driller is his middle son, if I understand correctly. And his name is Suzumu Hori.
Huh.
Apparently, Mr. Driller is a honorific. Or is a title to be earned by being the best driller in the drill competition on Earth, and that is I believe that is the plot of the Mr. Driller series.
Well, that is weird. Okay. I have always gotten the impression that, like, some Japanese developers really just, like, wanna be mangakas or something, because they'll put, like, these super deep, weird stories into their game universes sometimes. Like, Sonic Team is especially guilty of that. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to give up.
Not necessarily with Sonic itself, but, like, with other... Like Burning Rangers is basic. They basically just made an anime and then made a game for that anime, and then never made the actual anime.
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Boy, all of the projects that Yuji Naka was specifically invested in seem to have way more lore than the games are interested in portraying in any meaningful way. Please buy the Balan Wonderworld book, where we have the actual plot of it.
Come on, you giant pumpkin head, I want you to die. Dang it! Okay, I think that's enough.
I want to know the in-depth lore of Let's Tap.
Alright, so I'm gonna be switching over to the Sega Saturn now.
Oh my god, wait. Actually, this is more true than I like, because I'm thinking now of, of Let's Catch. And Let's Catch is a game all about its lore.
That does actually have a plot, yeah. And so does this game, by the way. It's running right now. Remember how I mentioned that Opa Opa had a father?
Opa Opa has all sorts of family. Like, Opa Opa's not a ship. Opa Opa's the species or whatever.
Yes, Opa Opa has an entire race. I'm guessing they're being attacked right now. But I think we're about to see Opa Opa's dying father, I think.
Yeah, Opa Opa is not a happy story. Despite the crazy,
Oh, Papa! The father of Opa Opa. Oh, that's a good name. They've really got to make, like, a modern-day sequel to this series.
Well, they did have the level in Sonic.
Look at how
Sonic
big
Superstars.
his dad is. Oh yeah, that is true. That. I'm glad that Sega has been revisiting this series in some capacity lately.
Look, I'm not going to go to bat for Alex Kidd. I don't think Alex Kidd is a particularly good character. I don't think he has particularly good games. But I will go to bat for things related to Fantasy Zone.
Alright, so I'm switching over to Sega Saturn now, and we're going to be seeing some more games on that, some of which you are probably not familiar with. Okay.
Oh, so I guess to those not familiar, no, Opa Opa's not in Sonic Superstars. If you make it to the second Frozen, is it called Frozen Factory? I don't know. It's the factory stage that's ice. The second act of that is an extended homage to Fantasy Zone. You do the same things you do in a Fantasy Zone level with gameplay, and it kind of has very similar enemies to Fantasy Zone enemies.
Yeah, it was like a whole homage to Fantasy Zone containing that game. Felt very random, but I loved it.
Oh, it was amazing. I was convinced that it was real Fantasy Zone music because of how accurate it sounded, and as soon as I tried to make comparisons, I was like, no, this is actually this might be an original track, and it's just very convincing. Oh, I went through both the easy mode and the hard mode to get to that end of that. Oh, Superstars, you could have been a better game.
Oh, there we are. Okay. Whoops. Okay.
Good, Alex wasn't here to hear that.
Yeah, that was weird.
Knuckles.
It was
Alex,
working.
I should say.
It was working last time I tried it. What the hell is going on with my screen?
It's full of triangles.
Oh, right. I accidentally clicked the game.
Full of working designs. Oh no, are you allowed to play this? Are you going to get sued?
Okay. I think that we're done with the technical issues now. Didn't mean to accidentally show off another working designs game. But anyway, so with this, I'm on something called a Saru now, which is a disc emulator that plugs in through the Sega Saturn cartridge port. Unfortunately, I do not have access to a menu system here, so I will have to get up for each game.
Ooh, are we gonna play some Battle Arena Toshinden?
No. We are going to do some Astal, though. So, this will not be the loosest connection to Sonic today.
It sure is a broad connection to a specific Sonic artist, though.
Yes, so like Astal was a character that Patrick Spaziente of Archie Comics absolutely loved to just include randomly in his art. He'd appear on covers, he'd appear on interior art. And like this was how I first became aware of this character.
He was in so many of those covers.
Like, this was probably how a lot of people got introduced to him to begin with, because it's not as if loads of people were playing the games.
Like, so I never had a Saturn, whenever I was growing up, so I was just seeing, like, why is this weird character showing up all the time? What's going on with this? It's just very confusing.
and what I find... Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, just in response to Alex in chat, this would have been in the Archie comics. Like, this is very specifically the Archie comics.
Yeah, and specifically his cameos. He never talked or anything. Like, he appeared in this big battle against a bunch of Overlanders in issue 50 alongside Bean and Bark, to give you an idea.
Yeah, and he would pretty frequently show up in just different pieces of cover art.
And, like, I had no idea he was even human at the time.
Is he? I don't think he is. I don't agree with that assessment.
In this game, he is specifically called a human. Like, he's, like, I think one of 2 humans alongside Lita, that is the girl character in this.
That's like saying Mario is human whenever he's hanging out in New Donk City. Like, no, I don't agree with that assessment.
Well, Estelle is at least human is in his own universe. And he's even got his own, like, evil counterpart. That was, like, made by this world's version of Satan.
Cool.
And, like, now you can't hear this, but talking to chat, like, you know how I, like, talk about how, like, hey, the working design's voice acting's actually, you know, pretty solid for the time. Estelle very much is not. Like, this is like they took the janitor or something and had her talk into the mic for 20 minutes. But this was an early Sega Saturn game. It came out in 1995. And it is a pretty good example of the Sega Saturn's 2D capabilities.
Yeah, honestly, I probably would have been more interested in Saturn early on if they kind of did lean a bit more into the 2D stuff, because I do not love the Saturn, but a lot of the things that I don't like about it are the things where it leans into being a 3D console. I don't think it's a very good 3D console with particularly good 3D games, but I think as a 2D system, it is pretty impressive here and there.
Like look at this stuff. Like,
yeah.
Look at all these pastel colors, these layers, the detailed background.
Now, that said, the camera is way too close.
Yeah, but it does mostly work for this kind of game.
Sure. Like, right now, you're not doing anything more complex than, like, a, what's it called?
And the camera does scroll out, especially for the platforming segments that we'll be getting to later.
Yeah. Like, this is Rayman levels of insufferable right now.
Get out of the way.
Now I'm about to get my bird companion. But this has a very Japanese anime, Japanese fantasy aesthetic to it.
You don't say. It is very mid-90s.
Like, that is one thing I do appreciate about this era of Japanese games, is that they all have this very distinct look to them. Or one of a couple different distinct looks, I suppose.
His design's a little much. It's a little much. It feels like it's trying to to go between being like, here's an intense, tough aesthetic combined with it's a cute anime small aesthetic, and it feels like a lot of the aesthetics of this feel like a lot of the criticisms weighed at Sonic's attitude character design. It
Yeah.
feels like it going for a little bit more attitude that can really accomplish. But
Well-
otherwise, like, it's still cute and
Well, it's always
Interesting.
pretty grouchy at first. Let's see. So we are currently at 6,846 pounds. Now, this is the first level in the game that really does kind of have an atmosphere to it, like between its music and its lighting. This was when I was playing the game back in the for the first time, like over a decade ago. This was the level that kind of made me want to play the rest of the game, because the first one's pretty basic, pretty simple. But this one's got some really cool sprite work. Like look at those backs.
it has a lot of sprites, and a lot of them are very big, which is certainly not something that you can have on the Genesis. Certainly not that many.
And the music and the soundtrack for this is also pretty good.
The way that you make sprites that big on the...
I finally figured out how to make the bird do things. Okay, so that should... Oh, alright. I remembered that... Oh, I'm dead. I remembered that it was possible to kill the bats with the bird, but I don't know, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself or something.
Like on the Genesis, if you were to make something like this, the way you would make characters have big sprites is by just making them out of balls and then spawning like 10 balls on the screen that vaguely animate like a person.
or like you know, just multiple sprite parks in general. But I know that's how Treasure would do it.
Treasure loved that, but then also we had Vector Man.
Yeah, well, Vector Man was definitely more overtly just, hey, here's a bunch of balls, because we know they're easy to work with. But Treasure did some really impressive stuff with, like, Gunstar Heroes and Alien Storm.
Oh yeah, you got, like, pseudo 3D effects out of Treasure at that era.
Yeah, there we go. I knew we could kill the backs.
And it was all just sprite trickery, but it certainly looked somewhat believable at the time.
Yeah. Alien Storm really is probably one of the best Treasure games of that era. It's a bit of a shame that, you know, never really got a wide release back in the day. You know, it was only on the SEGA channel. Oh, gosh darn it. I am so glad I picked 5 lives for this. I'm usually better at this game, but, you know, I'm one of those people that definitely plays worse on stream, because I'm not able to concentrate as much. Alright. I meant to say this when I switched consoles, but as a reminder, we are playing as part of the Raisin Rings charity. And we would encourage you to donate for accessibility in video games.
Special Effects is the charity itself. Raising Rings is the charity event, and you can find the link pinned in chat or up on the top of the screen, or if you're watching in some sort of VOD, hopefully in a description.
Okay, bird, bring me fruit. The bird is a very useful tool in this game. Like, you can use it
I'm trying to figure out what exactly it does. Do you just charge it, or does it charge over time, or like what?
I think you need to. I think for the attack you do need to charge it. You know, some of those enemies are like have those energy things going around them, and that charges a bar at the bottom of the screen. And you can use that to initiate an attack. But in addition to that, you can also have the bird go ahead and get fruit for you, which is your health. It will. I don't know if it like retrieves it from earlier in the level, or if it like literally just kind of spawns the fruit for you off screen. Okay, there we are. But that's useful for bosses, that's useful for situations like that where you can't really attack the enemies. Uh-oh. No, 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 no. Ah, dang it. Ah!
I know STH443 mentioned something about doing streaming for the Raising Rings event. They still haven't really said anything back in regard to what their thing is. But,
I think that may have been Ultimate, that Ultima Shadow guy. I know I know that pretty soon we will be overlapping with another stream that starts at 2 o'clock.
I think we're overlapping with like 3 or 4 streams though.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay, I really want to at least get to level number 3.
Interesting. Is that True Knuckles? Alex is saying you can control the bird with a second player?
Oh, yes, you can.
Interesting.
Okay. This is normally what you should use an attack for, but unfortunately I'm all out. Dang it. But I've never really had the opportunity to try out a cooperative mode. The cooperative mode. Alright, and... Oh, right, no, we still got a ways to go. Okay, and now I've charged up at least 2 of my thingies.
2 of your thingies.
Ah! God damn it. And unfortunately, this game does not have any kind of continue option or anything, so once this is done, it's done. But luckily, I do have other games I want to play. But yeah, back in the day, this is where I'd hit a roadblock for a while. But eventually, I got really good at it, and unfortunately, it's just been way too long.
So effectively, are you just altered beasting this? Is it just like walk real close up and walk up to an enemy and then just suplex them or something?
Oh no! Like there are like proper platforming levels and stuff in this.
Okay.
And more complex stuff. I just can't get to it because I keep dying here.
I'm just surprised. It feels like having 2 levels before you get to it seems kind of odd to me.
Die, you stupid backs. Like, this is, like, as far as I'm aware, like, this is just, like, getting you used to the controls and stuff and the other more combat-oriented aspects of the game. But then... Like right,
a strange way to do so, but okay.
The level right after this is much more platforming-centric, and that's where I normally get my game over.
So, I guess I could just look on Sega Retro for what this is. I'm curious who developed this.
I do believe this was developed internally at Sega, but I don't remember from who.
Okay, Sega CS2. Cool.
Okay, I need to use that bird much more often to actually just get myself some health.
Which, Sega CS2 did a lot of Saturn stuff, but you could generally think of them as, I guess, Phantasy Star and Shinobi team or something? Or at least a team that made of those people, did a bunch of racing games, did the Sakura Wars series... But also CS2 is kind of the generic name, and they just kind of had a team there, so... Okay. Okay, cool.
Okay, I think I'm almost at the end now.
Directed by...
Yes! Okay, made it! Finally! On my final life. Oh, right, boss battle. Oh, darn. This does look pretty cool. Like, lots of cool sprite scaling here. But I am probably going to die. Because I don't remember the trick for this anymore. Okay, so I do know I gotta hit him.
Okay, so this game was directed by Masahito Shimizu, and he has since, I believe in the subsequent years, moved to Arzest.
Oh boy. Interesting.
He was involved with... It looks like he was among the directors of Mario and Sonic 2016 at the 2016 Rio Olympic Games for 3DS.
Huh.
Was Arzest involved in that? Yeah, Arzest was involved in that. Okay.
See, they've done decent things.
I don't know that one well enough to make that assessment.
Oh, dang it. I got him down to his last hit. I had my bird get the fruit. I was so close. Oh, I do have continues. Oh, thank God. Okay. Good.
Yeah, this is some Attitude Era anime going on with his design there. The closer up I got to see it there. I'm so few music tracks this thing actually has. I'm used to once you get to the Saturn, once you get to like the N64, Saturn, PlayStation era, that games just used to shove track after track after track in it.
Well, I do
much
believe
more
this
than
has
just
one,
like the SNES.
This has one soundtrack per level.
Okay.
And one for every boss. So I imagine that just reflects the length of the game. Okay, almost got
So was it
this
like
guy.
14 levels then or something? 14 levels and/or bosses?
That does sound right, yeah. I've never actually beaten this.
Really? You seem the most positive on it as a game. I'm surprised.
Well, it's just, you know, there's no save for it, and so eventually I get a game over, and then that's that. I can only play this, devote so much time to this before I got to do other things. But my last attempt, I did get pretty far.
I looked away for a bit. Did you just become more anime?
Well, I did beat the boss and get to a cutscene.
What was the other character? Was that...
I mean, the other character the first character was Asal, and that's Lita.
Was she in sprite form just before then?
The sprite character. No, that was Evil Astal, whose name I forget.
Vegeta. Oh dear God, this is very 90s. This just got way more 90s anime. We have gone full Dragon Ball here, people.
Stupid bird. Get out of my way, or I'll have you for dinner.
He still does not like the bird. He's threatening to have it for dinner. So he is still being very, very, very tough and edgy, and not willing to be friends. Okay, so this is the more platformy area I mentioned. This is where I normally get my game over. Because I guess I missed the... Oh, you know, I forgot I could do this. I completely forgot I could do this. Oh my God.
What a strange move.
I think that lets you disarm enemies.
Okay. Yeah, this, like, the more I'm looking at this, the more it gives me such, like, original Rayman vibes. Which
Ah, dang it.
isn't complimentary, we'll say.
I mean, it's definitely not nearly as difficult as Rayman.
I don't know, you said you did not beat it. But also Rayman...
Rayman...
Rayman's in...
Like, Rayman, like, unlike Rayman, I can get past the first couple of levels.
Fair enough.
I got, like, last time I tried this, I got, like, halfway through.
Okay.
Oh, whoops.
Does this game not have a save system?
No.
That's bizarre, even at the time.
Well, remember,
I guess
this was 1995, and Sonic 3D Blast also didn't have a save system. Ah, dang it. Oh, whoop, nope, almost messed that up.
I'm trying to think if there's any N64 games that I play that did not have saves of some sort.
Oh,
I guess some of them...
I definitely know that, I think that the ones that didn't generally save for the memory card.
Well, yeah, there's some that required the memory pack. Like, I had Namco Museum, and that was... I'm trying to remember. That required, like, the pack for your score saves. But yeah, as Alex said, like, 3D Blast may not have. Sonic R did. It at least saved, like, hey, your character unlocks.
Well, that was 1997.
Yeah.
This was.
But at the same time,
oh dang it!
Saving was built into the system, not the disc.
True.
So...
That was something unique to the Saturn.
Yeah. And I think you could get, like, memory expansion or something for that
yeah,
top
you
slot.
can. Okay, I'm gonna lock in, as the kids say.
So obviously this is not happening, but let's at least contemplate it. If there was a Sega Saturn console for, let's just say, NSO, what would you say has to be on it?
Okay, well, obviously, Nights into Dreams, Stall, Burning Rangers, Thunder Force 5, which is one of the few shooters I know Sega has the rights to. Galactic Attack, otherwise known as Layer Section. Certainly Dragon Force 1. Unfortunately, Dragon Force 2 would require them to translate. Shining Force 3, all the Panzer Dragoon games, definitely. Oh no, dang it! Ah, dang it!
Yeah, you'd probably have to have a Daytona game on there. Maybe not with
Daytona Circuit Edition, Sega Rally, Netlink Edition, if they can like get the internet working, which I don't know if that's possible, but.
Curious where emulation is with the specific network aspects.
Ah! Oh, dang it, I'm gonna die. Okay. Ah! He hit me with the back of his hand.
I really...
that.
I understand why it would be an insurmountable task to make it happen, but... My God, I would just love for Nintendo to dump all of the money onto Hamster and just say, Arcade Archives is an NSO feature now.
I mean, at the very least, it'd be pretty cool if they could get Neo Geo on there.
We're at least starting to get 3D games now that the Switch 2 is releasing.
Yeah, and we've got N64.
Yeah.
Also
Wait,
notable
what?
about the GameCube though is that
No,
well, we
I
have
no
N64.
no. I meant Arcade Archives. Like
Oh,
they're finally doing some 3D game Arcade Archives for the Switch 2
okay, yeah.
for
Ridge
3D arcade
Racer.
games. Yeah.
So let's see, what other Sega Saturn games? Gun Griffin would be good. Let's see. Already. Any other racers? Uh-oh, there we are. Manx TT. That's oh, and definitely virtual racing. Like the Sega Saturn got an arcade perfect version of virtual racing. Although I guess it is already on the eShop. Thank you, Bird. Definitely Clockwork Knight. Ah.
Saturn Bomberman.
Oh yes, that too.
That feels like the most obvious choice to me.
With that, oh dang it, especially with that 8-player functionality.
Yeah.
All right, and like I said, I usually get my game over on that level. I have gotten past that before, and there's a very beautiful river stage. I think right after this, where you're like riding this monster, and you can like hit it to make it do things like shoot its head forward. So like it's got a unique stage gimmick there. That's when the game starts to get a little more complicated. But anyway, so we are going to move on to the next Sega Saturn game. I forget, did I let this play already? I don't think I
don't
did.
know.
Yeah, this has a whole ass anime opening.
This is a team that has watched a Dragon Ball Z. This is very much a team that has seen a Dragon Ball Z or two.
Yeah. Alright, so, like, I do actually have, like, a Sega Saturn NSO list somewhere. But, okay.
It's fine.
No, I'm trying to remember. Like, any Sega Saturn NSO really does need to just have a load of shooters.
I mean, that's like the Saturn's pitch in a lot of ways was like, hey, we could have all of these arcade games at home, and it was very in line with what the arcade was doing, and we had so many accurate ports to arcade, and then it was the mid-90s and nobody was playing arcade stuff.
Yeah.
It was like, that wasn't the sell.
And that's something that did continue with the Dreamcast, which that was the last console that really tried to lean in on arcade ports.
And look what it got them.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay, so Fighters Mega Mix, Virtua Fighter 2, Virtua Fighter Remix, definitely the original Fighting Vipers, the original Dead or Alive, if Techno's up for it. Like, the Sega Saturn had a really good Dead or Alive port. Definitely some Capcom fighters, if they can swing that. Like, Sega Saturn got the best versions of a bunch of Capcom games. Okay, Mega Man 8. Alright, now it's
Mega Man 8 for Saturn, I think, had some exclusive stuff. I think it has a Woodman fight and a Gutsman fight that are just extra.
It also has a famously bad English localization.
Well, so did the PlayStation version.
Yeah. Alright. Next game.
But also, its upgrade system, I kind of dug.
House the Dead would be interesting. But,
you could, I suppose, if you can do mouse emulation, maybe.
If you can get mouse emulation or like pointer emulation to work, then House the Dead, Virtua Cop 1, Virtua Cop 2, those would be solid additions. House the Dead actually kind of has a bit of an infamously bad Sega Saturn port. Oh, and
Can we
also...
can we get Duck Hunt finally now that we have mouse control? Not that mouse control was stopping us, but it feels like that's something that would be more plausible now.
So Astra Superstars, I'm not playing this right now, but this would be an excellent addition to NSO because it is just an absolutely insane 2D fighter that is really good, really fun, really user-friendly, and has never had a re-release.
That reminds me of another Capcom fighter, but I can't for the life of me remember what it is.
Bug and Bug 2 would at least be... They're not the worst games. I don't know if you've played them. Like, they're not great platformers.
I feel like I look at that and I think of Croc. And I think of all the things I think about Croc.
Okay, so we're going to take a brief look at Bug.
Oh God!
Like, this was kind of this was kind of like the original Sega Saturn 3D. I use in air quotes platformer.
They really want to show you his face front on.
Yeah,
that's upsetting.
But yeah. Like,
oh my God! They really were they thought they were making their own Gex, didn't they?
Yeah, I do get that. I do get that impression every time I play the game. But this was one of those early attempts at the 3D platformer, and you can tell it's early just from the technology because it's really more of like a 2D platformer.
What is that face?
I've never actually.
What is that?
I've never actually sat through this before.
What is this?
It is the opening to Bug.
Oh my God.
And I need to look up when this came out. May 15th, 1995. This was a launch game. Like, this was basically one of the first attempts at a 3D platformer. I
can tell you no Japanese studio touched this one.
Yeah, this was developed by, looks like Real-Time Associations. Real-Time Associates, which I've never heard of them. But, yeah,
okay.
So, like, you're
This is not quite Croc. This is not quite what I was expecting out of this.
This predates Croc by, like, 2 years.
Right.
Like, this is before Mario 64.
I mean, if I'm being honest, this makes sense for what the Saturn could do. Like, this seems reasonable, I suppose. I was expecting something that was going to be just a miserable 3D platformer. This is just a 2D platformer with some depth.
Yeah, like this
That's what I'm seeing here.
This kind of does mirror one of the early attempts at Sonic Extreme.
To me, this looks like... What if Crash Bandicoot didn't hate you? That's the vibe I'm getting from it,
but,
at
like,
least.
you know, you can, like... There are some, like, 3D areas. It's not completely on rails, but, like... I think it's all, like, very digital in its movement.
What is Bug? Because it looks like he has a bee stinger, but he's just a green thing.
I think he's just a nondescript bug.
He is of a species because he apparently has a wife and child. Like, there are other of Bug around. He is not the last of his kind.
I think that there are Anks that have stingers on their butts. But
okay.
I think he's just like a bunch of buggish-looking parks, and the stinger is just how he damages enemies. Like, that's how they just justify that.
Okay. Despite the challenge you are having in lining up these shots, it looks like a game.
Yeah.
Like, that's an idea. It's more than I was expecting from Bug. I was not expecting there to be as much game as there is in this game.
Like, I think the worst thing you can really say about it, from what I've played, is that it's an early attempt at a 3D platformer. So
sure,
it's fairly
sure. I mean,
simplistic and basic.
It looks playable though. It's just ugly. Like, it's just he's an ugly character. The world's nothing fancy. It's nothing to write home about. Like, it's acceptable, I guess. But yeah, it seems all right. Bug, I can tell, is a sprite. Like,
oh yeah.
Despite the fact that they had the big full motion video intro, like, he is a sprite-ass sprite.
Like, this is basically the same kind of trick that they were trying to use for Sonic Extreme, where Sonic was a sprite and then the world itself was 3D.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which makes sense. It makes sense for what this Saturn was all about. It's this... What we are looking at here is an HD 2D game.
Yeah, I guess that's one way you could describe it.
That's back whenever we believed there was actually going to be a Chrono Trigger remake for like a delightful 4 hours.
That turns out, oh no, that was purely Gus the Interpreter.
Yeah. That was I would have expected it to have been like the next major 2D HD or HD 2D game, which they should still do. I think it's probably worth it to have it in some form, and that seems like the form where they are at least able to keep pumping those out.
Like, I have certainly been expecting them to do something Chrono Trigger for years.
They have very much not done anything Chrono Trigger.
My gosh, we got Chrono Cross. We got the freaking, like, Chrono Cross,
we got Radical Dreamers. What we got. They localized the I don't even think I could call it a visual novel. It's just the novel.
That they released on that Satellaview.
The non-visual novel.
All right, I need to take a second to bring my chat back up. Yeah, 2.5D is probably a decent explanation for this, but typically 2.5D games, they don't really have a 3D element like, say, this. But, it's just like, it's purely side-scroller, but it's in a polygonal world. But this is certainly like somewhere between like a proper 3D platformer and, say, Pandemonium.
And Bug fly?
It looked like he did. Like
if he could fly, why are we messing with this crap?
Like when I think 2.5D platformer, another Sega Saturn game, Pandemonium, that I think of. That's another game that'd be great to have on NSO, by the way. Although it is third party, so I'm not sure if they could get that.
Question: What? Oh no, you're still playing. Okay, Discord decided to freeze.
Oh, okay.
I'm just watching the Twitch stream right now, so
okay.
Is it back? Is Discord back?
Well, I can probably see about fixing it in a moment. Maybe when I transition to the next game.
It's fine. I'll just watch the Twitch chat or the Twitch
dung
display
beetle
now.
Just made dung out of the dirt. Does that mean I am walking on dung right now?
He's a bug. What does he care? He probably eats it.
I mean, yes, but I'm a civilized bug.
Is he?
He's wearing shoes and gloves. Yes.
That's true. I suppose he was on the cover of Entertainment magazine at the beginning there.
I'm actually having.
Perhaps I did not account for that.
I am actually having more fun than I was anticipating, if I'm being honest.
It seems fine.
I generally, I'll play a bit of the first level, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to move on to something else. Like, I just wanted to remind myself what Bug was, and I've done that.
It's just using a very, the most distinct thing I can say about it is, it's using the most early-ass 90s font that I can imagine. Like, these are fonts that I would expect to see on the Genesis and... Oh, God!
What? Oh,
I just watched him in his dying animation.
Yeah. This is not the only game you're gonna see a fun little dine animation today, by the way.
No, that era loved that stuff. Like I said, this is just Crash Bandicoot that doesn't hate you. Crash Bandicoot's not a kind or polite game. It just has a lot of animations like watch the funny death animation we made. Like, that's 90% of Crash.
Yes, it is.
Because it was the frickin' mid-90s. It was the mid-90s, and we were all still watching gross-out humor Nickelodeon.
Well, you guys were. I didn't like gross-out humor.
I liked Rocko's Modern Life. This is not as good as Rocko's Modern Life.
I watched Gargoyles. I watched DCAU.
I was watching all that. Well, I didn't watch Gargoyles, but yeah, I was watching all that. But I was watching that on top of other stuff.
But I did not care for Ren and Stimpy.
Oh,
I just thought that looked ugly.
This is not a statement on the person who made Ren and Stimpy, but I do like Ren and Stimpy still.
It's okay to like things from bad people. Ah. Okay, there we are. Man, thank God this game gives you a lot of health.
Care, Alex.
What now?
Chat, Alex.
Oh. Okay, yeah, yeah, bye, Alex. Alright, so I'm gonna be moving on to my next game soon.
As you do, I will once again give you a reminder that, remember, we are raising funds for Raising Rings, for charity organizations. If you have not donated, we highly recommend it. It's good, like both of us have donated. You can do so via the link that has been pinned to chat. You can also see the link up top on the screen, and if you are watching this in VOD form, you will hopefully be able to find it in a description as well.
But as I play this game, I'm reminded of just how weird and poorly run Sega was back in this time.
Sure was.
Specifically, so as we know, Sonic did not get a proper platforming release on this in any capacity, and yet we got. Wow,
God!
That sure is a game over.
Jesus Christ! This for the love of God!
I'm very glad I streamed that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and switch it over to the next game, I think. But but Sega was just bad at continuing their successful Genesis franchises in general. No, we didn't get any kind of Echo the Dolphin, or Streaks of Rage, or a proper Sonic game, and yet we got games like Bug.
Part of that is like Sega was effectively eating itself from the inside between its different divisions. It was not a healthy development scenario between how its Western divisions and how its Japanese divisions actually managing hardware were just kind of they were not in a healthy relationship, and they were not in a we'll say respectful coexistence.
And you know what? Before I move on to my next game, let me just quickly look at this little Sonic Extreme prototype. But I love Nights and Dreams, but Sega did not prioritize their mascot in this era, like their big moneymaker. Like, I hate to say it, but like Sonic Team should have gone straight to making the next Sonic game for Saturn, just like Miyamoto went straight to making Super Mario 64. Like, Nintendo knew to prioritize that in a way. Sega, I mean, they did start making their 3D Sonic game around the same time, but they handed it off to their poorly run U.S. division, Sega Technical Institute, which
I think it's even that, because I look at Sony, and Sony, I wouldn't say Sony ever had something that I would point to as a consistent mascot. Like, the things that they gave, we'll say, cartoon character attention to, kept shifting from generation to generation. Like, we had Crash Bandicoot in commercials. We had our Ratchet and Clank. We had our Sackboy. We have our Astrobot now. And, of course, they're Japanese cat mascots, which I don't know if they still even use anymore. But the problem is, Sega didn't have anything that I would say really sold the system. Like, it didn't have anything that it felt like they both knew to properly push, but also could push.
Well, they did, but it was in Japan. Like, Sakura Wars was huge in Japan. Virtual Fighter, huge in Japan. But the closest thing we had to a success here, to success in the U.S. was Nights into Dreams, which I think moved something like 1 million copies, but like that was still like no Sonic in terms of being a phenomenon.
even then, Nights is kind of a hard sell as a concept. Like, it's not something that you could look at and just immediately understand. Like, oh, this is what this is about, and this has legs, and this can represent what we're doing with the heart. Like, it's not quite there. It's not something that you can see and that'll be your mass market representation of
it's not Super Mario 64 in the sense like Super Mario 64 presented this like obviously brand new way of playing a game, which was fully 3D explorable worlds. And so it's like, you know,
like Nights is just a fancy arcade game, if we're being honest.
Yes. But and so like it has its own style of gameplay that I really love, and I think it's aged much better. But like at the time, it was, you know, it just simply wasn't revolutionary in the way Mario 64 was.
The things I tend to think of for the Saturn are things that are incredibly, incredibly Japanese. Like, things that have really, really strong anime aesthetics.
And speaking of incredibly Japanese, I do need to move on to the next game properly now, so I'll be right back. But
I take it there's not much left to this.
Oh no, like this is... So like there are some more advanced Sonic Extreme things that are playable, but I don't have them playable on my Saru. And so like... Yeah,
gotcha.
This is the extent of it for
well,
us.
You have 21 lives. I don't know how you got 21 lives, but you have them.
But this was basically what they were sort of working on at the time, which was, you know, Sonic is a sprite, and he's in a 3D world with a fairly limited scope.
So real quick question. What happens when the time runs out?
I don't know. Like,
let's find out. I want us to find out.
But this is the portion of the game that was built on the Nike's engine that they had to abandon because Yuji Naka was famously unhappy about that. Now,
I think you could just full stop that at Yuji Naka was famously unhappy, and it would still be exactly as accurate.
I think he has pushed back on that narrative recently, but I don't know. Like, we're talking about a guy who committed like stock fraud, so I'm less hesitant.
A guy who very famously had a lot of, has a lot of talk behind the scenes of like, this guy a real drama, a real drama queen in like just even outside the context of Sonic Extreme.
But I do really enjoy this sprite, like just the way it looks, the way it's animated.
Nice.
It just restarted back in 5 minutes.
Great.
Okay.
Good to know.
So,
Good to know.
Let's move on.
So what's up next? Other than silence while you change games, because you're away from the microphone.
So, this next game, have you ever heard of Tempo, the game?
No, I don't. No, I'm looking at this and I have not. This is not anything that I'm familiar with.
Okay, well, Tempo was a game made for the 32X that got a Sega Game Gear, I guess, sequel or side game called Tempo Jr. And then a few years later, we got a brand new sequel
Oh, God!
on the Sega Saturn.
I just looked up the start screen for Tempo on the 32X, and that's a character design.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes, it is. So
what am I looking at?
On the 32X, the game is frankly too busy. Like, the visuals are too busy, and
You don't say.
I remember the visuals. I remember like the gameplay feeling a bit slippery, but I would consider Super Tempo to be a significantly better game. I have gotten much further in this than I did on the 32X version. And this game also has just an absolutely wild sense of
And
humor.
it's made by Aspect. Jeez. Oh, no, wait. Aspect does appear to be involved. At least I saw their name came up.
I believe it's made by Media Quest.
Okay, let me see. Super Tempo. Okay, Aspect is involved, but it is published by Media Quest, developed by Red Company. Surprisingly not by Sega, though.
Now, this is the furthest I am getting from the Sonic adjacent mission statement of the stream.
You don't say.
But this is a Sega mascot, and it's an animal character, so I think that's.
And it's
that's
developed
close
by. Yeah, it's developed by Aspect.
and
That's
Aspect
something.
is at least involved. So this is the big bad guy, this goofy-looking dude. Now, unfortunately, there is no fan translation for this one. This was a Japanese exclusive, but even as a Japanese exclusive, this game is very rare. Like, I was looking into buying this game years ago, and it was like running for $250 on eBay. I don't even want to know what it costs now, but regardless, this is like one of the first games I wanted to download.
This is a step up from Bug, but it's not as much of a step up as I was hoping.
I don't know. I really like the visuals in this. Like
this. Okay, so Bug felt like visuals that were taken extremely from the early 90s. Like, Bug is about 5 years too late for its visuals. This feels like it is extremely, extremely late 90s.
Huh.
This feels like the aesthetics that the Dreamcast would become obsessed with.
Yeah. And it's also, frankly, I think one of the best looking 2D games on the Saturn, at least in my opinion. Now, maybe you're not a huge fan of the aesthetics, but just in terms of the sprite work and the backgrounds,
okay with the aesthetics. I'm just saying they are extremely of a type. They are very of an era.
And there's just the amount of animation in all the sprites and everything really does make this feel like a massive step up from what you normally get even from this era. But I do get a massive bonk vibe from this. More so than anything else.
I can see that. Like that. There are some. I would say there are some comparisons that I feel a little bit different about. I'm trying to think what I'm thinking of. Like to me, I look at this and the vibes I get are something like Alien Hominid.
Yeah,
that's
game.
Where my point of comparison seems like it's coming from. Just over the top, bizarre cartoon, but thick, distinct lines, big, chunky characters in a vaguely chibi style.
And fun fact, this also has a bird sidekick. Albeit it doesn't have any like gameplay functions. I think this is more of a plot thing. But like, I'm genuinely wondering if like anyone from Bonk worked on this.
I don't know who Red Company is. I might have to. No, Red Company is Sakura Taisen.
Huh.
I don't. Oh, let me see. I'm gonna try to look. Red and.
But anyway, this boss battle does have a kind of a wild climax, and it's gonna really give you an idea of the kind of game this is.
It's oh, hey. Red Entertainment Games. Games for the PC Engine. Gate of Thunder. Lords of Thunder.
Oh god, here we go.
And of course, PC Genjin, aka Bonk.
Wow. So
you were on the money with that one.
The Bonk people.
And they don't. Okay, so they don't. Sony stuff, Microsoft stuff, Sega stuff.
Man,
okay, so
that was wild.
They were involved with Sakura Taisen, Sakura Taisen 2, Sakura Taisen Taigeki Graph, the 2 Dreamcast Sakura Taisen games. They have a PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Steam game, Our World Has Ended, with PD Cube.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
It is also, its localized name is Judgment 7, Our World Has Ended, on the Switch. That is the first localized version in 2019. Are they still around?
I didn't think they were, but...
It doesn't suggest that they are defunct. Although, Red Entertainment, preceded by Red Company, although that might just be... This might list everything of that. But yeah, they made a Bonk game. They made the first Bonk game, by the looks of it.
Damn.
Oh, no, they made the series. I'm sorry, they are listed as responsible for the series.
This was really the level where I was getting those Bonk vibes. Because look at that thing. Look at that zombie thing. Like, that looks like a Bonk character.
That Bonk loved its giant, expressive sprites.
And this now this is a less platformer centric level. Instead, you've actually got to like collect. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, we get to see the death animation. All right, come on. There we are. Yep.
So it just leaves your corpse there.
Yes, it does.
Perfect.
But in this, you've got to explore the level, and you've got to collect these ghosts, of which this is the first of them. And one thing about this that seems kind of impressive is that it seems like this has like proper transparencies. Like, instead of just a mesh, which is what the Sega Saturn typically uses to pull off the effect. All right, so now I've got to explore the level to find everything else, and thankfully I've already done this level once, so I have a general idea of where everyone is. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay, he's dead. But this is just a really weird, goofy game, and I can understand why this never got localized, because the original tempo is kind of like your standard platformer, mid-90s platformer.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, this game is just, it's a lot of things.
It is a very lot of things.
Like, you have not seen the number of things it is yet. I don't know if you caught the climax to that boss fight.
Oh my god, they made the Fossil Fighters games.
Really?
On DS, yeah.
But, like, in just 3 levels, this game goes places.
Like I said, this feels very much like... I'm trying to look up the developer of this so I can properly name them. Yeah, The Behemoth. This looks extremely a The Behemoth game. Alien Hominid, Castle Crashers.
Okay. I wasn't aware that was the name of the developer.
Battle Block Theater. Yeah, that's the name of the developer. But that is very much the vibes I get for that. So I'm guessing you're trying to bring all 4 ghosts together to this location?
Yes, yes, and you get them each in kind of a different way. I think I went down the wrong place for the next one. But you can like go into the background first to get to other areas. Okay, so it was over here. Oh, dang it. Thankfully, this game is very generous in terms of its health.
Good, because there's so much happening.
All right.
I almost have to look up the 32X game, because if that one... So you started by saying that one is a little too busy.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this one, and it's like, well, okay, maybe I need to see what too busy actually looks like.
Well, like, the backgrounds for the 32X game are just kind of insane. Like, they are very psychedelic from what I remember.
The ones in that one are insane.
Like,
really
this one I can at least, like, translate what's going on much more easily. Like, it's all much more discernible.
I'm bringing up a... Okay, now we're in a game show, so great.
Yep. It's where you turn in your cash to get, I guess, collectibles or something. I guess got a manga.
Good, perfect. As one does.
There's also this game center here.
God, and we're already at Urban Champions, so great.
I don't think I guess lost all my money, so I can't do anything there yet. All right, but the next ghost should be up here.
Congrats, you found the chicken, the ghost chicken.
Yay! And then I accidentally fell down here. There's something else up here I gotta get to. But this is another game I would love to put on NSO because it's still very playable even without like a proper English translation.
Okay, World of Long Play, take me on a trip. Take me on a journey. Oh god, there's so many flashing colors!
See what I tell you?
I skipped ahead a little bit, and apparently he was using some sort of super attack, and it dramatically fluctuated the the palettes on everything happening on screen is like, this is a visual hazard. This could cause a reaction in people.
And yeah, like so far I don't think I've encountered anything quite like that in this, although this game does reuse one of the 32x backgrounds for something.
Okay. I'm looking right now, I'm looking at a so number one, I think, is tempo also a bug?
Yes, tempo is a bug. Specifically he's a fly.
Okay. So we are just bug. We are bug but anime.
And,
But vaguely cartoonish anime. I don't know.
And he's also got a girlfriend who can fly. Okay, so I need to. Yep, and she can just like fly just anywhere. She's got unlimited fly, and she's basically like a shooter character.
I'm currently watching a city level in the 32X game, where there is a background layer, and then there is a background layer in front of that layer, where the buildings are just gyrating up and down, pulsing.
Yeah. All right, and I guess got the final ghost, which is a headless cat holding 2 tree branches.
I am now inside of a living body, and the background is just full of...
I think that's the second
For
level.
Sega Sonic Radio, I am always afraid that, like, hey, my backgrounds might be a bit intense with the whole video aspect of it. That it's like, I feel like it is responsible to put a warning at the beginning of it. I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, like, you know, my stuff's tamer than what's going on here. And mine are specifically, like, especially, like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know, I'm now watching the level move and crush the character player. Like, just massive chunks of...
Oh, yeah, the jaws. Yeah, I think that's as far as I got last time I played.
What is happening here? I need to turn this off. I need to turn it off, but I feel like I can't turn it off. This ant has a butt for a face. And it's surfing. Why?
But I really do just love the level of personality in this game. And it does feel like a much more refined version of what the original, I almost said bug, tempo was.
What is anything? I don't know.
Ah! Come on, get up. Tempo's girlfriend. I think I'm fighting Red Riding Hood right now. In like some sort of... Is that a cat car? Or is that a sheep car? Oh, right. Okay, those are sheep that put me to sleep. Man, I don't know. Okay, I think that's a cat car.
Okay, now this is like Cuphead level boss design at this point.
But at the very least, I have a lot of health, so, oh, and a lot of lives. I've got, like, 9 lives right now.
Weird.
I think I did put this on an easy mode. Oh, it was a baby! Okay, I was fighting a baby.
Cool.
And we're about to get to the next big game transition.
When you say game transition, you mean walk into the clown's mouth and then drive away?
I think it's more like, okay, so we've resurrected the ghosts. They're just living now, and we're conducting them.
And we entered the clown's mouth, and we're conducting them, and now the giant clown hand has gripped its head and is lifting you up to heaven. Right, this makes sense. This makes a lot of sense now.
Oh, hey, we just passed 7 grand. Excellent.
Yay! And Heaven has a game show.
Yeah, and you can tell it's heaven because you've got, like, those angel wings. Ooh, I got the car. Excellent. I can put that on my shelf now.
With your gunpla.
Should I go with the car or one of the robots?
Get the 16 robot. There we go.
And that's the manga I got.
That clock is just going. Like, I feel like this is a game that if I was watching a video of this and just frame advancing one frame at a time, that no frame would be the same as the next frame at any point.
That is probably a safe assumption, yes. Because we're about to get a little crazier. So, Tempo has been, like, I guess possessed and turned into a robot or something.
Oh, do they live in the Clown Head? Is that their home?
Yeah, that's their house.
Why?
I don't know, why not?
Why? Why do they live in a Clown Head?
Okay, so, it's a shooter now.
This is like a weird subversive cartoon that I would watch in the early 2000s on Fox Kids.
And this is a background taken directly from the 32X game. Just completely unaltered as near as I can tell. And the enemies are mostly like these simplistic sprites that appear to be like taken directly from Atari 2600 games.
I take that back slightly. This is something that I would watch on early era anime Adult Swim. Like, this is something that they would have on alongside Super Milk Chan.
Huh.
That's what I think we would have here. It could be either, but like it fits in that. Oh, I see. They're asteroids. I get it.
Yeah, like as far as I can tell, this like level references a bunch of old retro games and stuff.
This level is a problem. This level is a visual problem. They have made something that is not safe.
And I think this is like a direct reference to some like SEGA missile game. Like, I meant to look it up before. But it's like, I don't know, there's just a whole load of just like retro game stuff just in this level for some inexplicable reason.
Just full of sharks.
And, little simplistic bug things that I think are like meant to be enemies from this game.
I think they're ants, but they look like the ants with the butt faces like I saw in some sort of animated sequence in the 32X. Okay, background, I need you to calm down, please. I need you to calm down, please.
Oy. Come on, tape. Yeah.
And now I have something to look for that I need to research.
Come on. As near as I can tell, like, everything about this level is just either random or it's determined in a way I've not been able to figure out yet. Like, I know that you're, like, collecting these tapes or something, and that might be determining the kind of area I'm in.
Oh, so I am now looking at the American box art of Tempo for the 32X. What in the hell? Oh my god.
Yeah, that was super Americanized.
That's some real Kid Chameleon nonsense. By the way, the 32X game has retro achievements.
Really?
It sure does. It sure does.
All right, now we're gonna go for something completely different again.
The Saturn version does not.
Yeah, this version's way more obscure. Like, I didn't even know this existed for a while.
The Game Gear version, however, does.
That is less surprising. Like, that's kind of between this and the 32X game in terms of obscurity.
Eh.
Alright, come on. Where is it? There we are. Okay. So, time to transition to something else.
Okay, sure. No. You know what this is? I finally figured this game out. You know what it is?
What?
It's frickin' Panty and Stocking.
But
That's what this game is.
So what? Is Panty and Stocking like a decade in advance?
I guess. Isn't it?
I've actually never seen that anime. It's on my list.
Okay, I've only seen
I know that it's very vulgar.
Yeah, that studio. I have feelings about that studio. I understand their legacy, but boy, do I have some feelings about that studio.
Whoop.
To the degree that I can't even remember what they're called.
Now, this part of the boss battle right here is probably the worst part of the game so far.
You don't say. You mean the part where he just unstoppable comboed you?
Yeah. Like, there's a rhythm to it that if you once you get that rhythm, it's a lot easier. But if he is able to get some cheap shots on you if you're not careful, and there's really no strategy or gameplay to it. It's just kind of just mashing the punch button at some point, at a certain point. But thankfully, I do rather enjoy the rest of the boss battle. But like, this is probably the most bonkish part of this whole game so far, because like I don't know if you've heard of Air Zonk. Air Zonk is like this whole.
I have played Air Zonk.
Okay,
yeah.
So like how that just took the bonk property, but it's like it's like a sci-fi shooter now.
Yeah. I will be right back.
All right.
You just carry on fighting the tornado rooster with your giant insect lady, like it's a kaiju fight.
Alright, so like I said, there is a certain amount... Oh! Timing to this. And you really should not hang out at the edge of the screen like I just did. Oh, come on! That was just cheap. Alright, but now I'm ready for him. Just gotta uppercut him constantly. And he starts coming faster and faster. Unfortunately, this takes a minute. Like, he takes a lot of hits. Oh, dang it. Okay, it might be time to start button mashing now.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, cool.
I thought I muted, but apparently
You're about
I
to see
didn't.
this thing really go nuts with its attacks.
You don't say.
Like, it will just start coming at me constantly. And I basically just gotta keep mashing the punch button. There's just no timing anymore. Okay, maybe there's a little bit of timing. Dang it! I really thought I could get him that time.
He is a harp.
Yes,
What?
yes, he is. He is a
He's
pelican.
a robot chicken harp.
Oh, darn, it's doing that thing. I meant to demonstrate this earlier. This game does have a function where you can like just turn off the background music for some reason and just get like the ambient sound effects. And for whatever reason, this particular boss battle seems to have a glitch where the music will just stop. And
Okay.
there's no way to re-enable it for a while. Like, eventually it'll just come back on its own. I don't know if that's like a Saru glitch, or if it's a thing specific, or if it's like just a part of the game. But, oh, sweet! We just got a donation for $10 from Yenayak.
Hey, thank you.
I guess that's one positive thing about the music not working. Is I can hear that now. Ah, another one. Ah.
I find I can hear it. I wonder why that is. Oh, because it's probably coming through OBS.
Yeah. Well, now I'm just getting a bunch of sounds. I wonder if I think I'm getting like a backlog of all of the payments we got. That's why I haven't been hearing them. Not payments, donations.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm stepping back now. You're not ambushing me again. Yes. Boom. 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 I've got plenty of health, so I'm definitely... I think this is the one. Like, yeah, he takes a lot of hits to the chin.
No kidding.
Dang it.
I'm guessing you just have to uppercut him like it's Punch Out
Yes.
before he hits you, right?
Yes, like there is a timing to it. Dang it. Okay, I think I'm at the point where I guess I have to start mashing the button. Ah, okay. Alright, no more attempting to time it. Just gonna mash it. Yes! Got him! Ha ha ha! And the music should be coming back now. Because it's gonna switch, it should be switching over to a new track.
Because we killed the harp. Therefore, the music will come back.
Yeah. Huh. Still nothing. Darn. Maybe this is specifically a Saru issue. Alright, I did just die, but thankfully, it should just start me back off here. Oh, there we are. Okay. We at least have sound effects back. Okay, music too. Okay, excellent.
By the way, about 15 minutes.
Alright, good. This is about how far I want to get. So maybe I'll do some Nikes after this. And you defeat the boss by kissing him because he's your boyfriend. And that is cute. But yeah, I think the girl character is the one that you have to rescue in the first game, if I remember correctly. So it is pretty nice that she's like just an outright alternate character in this game. But this just has so much personality. Like I am glad that this didn't turn out to be a complete dud, at least. Like, I am having fun with it.
It certainly at least has personality. I will give it that.
Ooh, a camera. Alright. I think I'm gonna take what I'm assuming is the digital camera. Okay, so are we just collecting cameras now? Is that what we're doing here?
Sure.
Now,
Collect those cameras.
unfortunately, much like Estelle, I don't think this has any kind of save function. I've never actually gotten past. I've never actually seen this part because I guess I had to turn it off after this last time I played. Oh wait, no, I did see a bit of the city of this level. Okay.
That's
So,
good. It's good to know that we emerge into the level like Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yep. You got a drill car and everything. And we're back to a more standard platforming level, I believe. Oh, that is a bird. Oh man, we got more of them in the background. This might be the most normal level so far.
It's slightly more parsable.
Come on. Ah! Whoa, boy. Oh, boy. Okay, I gotta kill this guy.
Doing Raising Ring stuff is all like just YouTuber stuff. I could of the four people who are live right now.
Yeah.
Only one of them, I believe, is actually on Twitch.
What the hell?
Oh, oh my God! You have become the Tick.
And there's yodeling. There's yodeling in the background.
This is some Earthworm Jim BS.
So I'm guessing you missed how the first boss battle ended. But for that one, you were flexing. You turned into that, and you were flexing muscles with the boss at the end.
I apparently did, but yes, that's some Earthworm Jim nonsense. Oh my God.
That just came out of nowhere.
So, is this going to be the wrap-up for today?
Yeah, probably. I was thinking of quitting at about now and hopping into Nikes for a minute.
Okay. If it's going to be for a minute, you have maybe 10.
Okay.
We have seen the flying cows in reverse rain. I think we have maxed out on what this game can offer.
Yeah. I guess I want to get up to that elevator up there if I can. Okay, maybe.
Can you switch to the other character, or is it
no? The
only a
elevator
prescribed
is
moment?
the elevator is where I switch.
Oh, okay. Is there value in being the boy character?
Well, like, I guess if you want to play it as more of a platformer, but otherwise, no.
Okay. Good to know.
Like, as near as I can tell, they basically just have different parts of the game designed for different characters. So, like, I'm now, like, I've completed the platforming section. Now, like, I'm in a more of a shooter section area, I guess. Alright, and I think this is where I'm going to wrap up. Because, yeah, okay. We're at some kind of transition. Ow! Ow! That hurt. So let's just see what this is. The music has cut out again for some reason. At this point, I'm guessing it's some sort of Saru glitch.
I mean, that's a great thing for it to do in this game that clearly has nothing to do with music.
But I know that Saru does have some compatibility issues. I'm guessing this would probably be near the bottom of the priority list. All right, so I'm gonna go transition now to what will be our final game. Oh. But I'm always happy to expose people to weird and obscure games that have at least some kind of Sega connection, if not Sonic. All right, so
I mean, I was exposed to something.
to review what I'm doing tomorrow. Tomorrow will be much more Sonic centric. I plan on focusing on Sonic spin-offs, specifically. Right. Wait. Why isn't it loading? Huh. Okay. Okay. Let me just check this real quick, and then I'll finish what I was saying. But tomorrow will be much more Sonic centric. I'll be focusing on spin offs like Sonic Chaos is on my list, as is Sonic R and Sonic Shuffle.
Is Sonic Chaos a spin-off? I would imagine, like, I would consider any of the portable versions to be spin-off.
Let's just say non-mainline games then. But I really just want to kind of get this out there today.
Okay.
Although there is a reason why. Oh man, why isn't this working? Oh well, I'm kind of surprised that this isn't working properly. What time is it?
It's 2:52.
Okay, well I do have the disc, so I'm just gonna stick that in, and that should work.
Okay.
Oh right, yeah.
Hey chat, how you doing? I'm here talking directly to you. To you, the many lurkers that are catching things right now. Hope you're having a good time. Hope you're having not nightmares in the way that I was with trying to understand Super Tempo. Super Tempo was an experience. We all went through it.
Nikes had given me some issues before, but I thought it was because I had the disc in the Saru, because... Oh, what the...
So okay, what's gonna happen, chat?
If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna play like Sonic R or Sonic 3 Blast or something.
So what's gonna happen, chat, is you're going to attempt to explain Super Tempo to someone in your regular life. And their immediate reaction to it is going to be entire disbelief. They will not believe you. They will think in no such way that they will 100% believe that you have fully made that game up.
I clicked Nikes and I think it just took me to a stall? Oh crap, I think I took out the wrong game. Jesus Christ.
Good job. I think we should probably call it, my dude.
Alright. They both have pastel Sega Saturn discs. Okay, this should do it. Man, this stream had been going so smoothly too. Okay, let's see. 254? Alright, that should still give me enough time to do one level, which was my original plan anyway. Okay. Anyway. So,
Sonic Team.
So I also want to take a look at so like my plan tomorrow. I'm thinking Sonic Chaos, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic R, and Sonic Shuffle. Which Sonic Shuffle will be getting the bulk of my time.
Sonic Shuffle demands the bulk of everyone's time. So last night I was watching a number one Sonic Mario Party Jamboree is an unusually and bizarrely long Mario Party game compared to many others.
In what way? In terms of its campaign or in terms of its
in terms of how long it takes to get through a whole game of it. Like of comparable
dang it.
Of comparable I forgot how it looks when you are just the child in
my controller
Nights
is
into
sticking
Dreams.
right now. I gotta fix that.
The way the floor is warping is upsetting me.
Alright. Ah, dang it. I could not escape the clock. Okay. Alright. Hopefully this game is done messing with me. But yeah, like this does certainly look different from the original HD version as well. Like like this is straight off of Saturn. The confusion. Okay, all right. Enough of this. Gonna hop in this thing now.
Cool. Hop in the thing. You have become the knights.
But so yeah, this is what Sonic Team was working on instead of Sonic in the mid '90s, and while it certainly worked out for them artistically, it did not work out for Sega in terms of business.
I mean, sure, that's you know how I feel about Knights.
Yeah, and you know how most people felt about Knights, especially back in the day.
I also know how a lot of people feel about Knights these days as well. I feel like, yes, it has its super fans, but I think it has, to a degree, shine's worn off a little bit.
But I do wish that as much as I like that we got this in hindsight, like I do wish that we seeing what Sonic Team could have done with the Saturn hardware, like with Sonic. Like the closest we ever really got to that was Sonic Jam, which is pretty impressive looking. But you know, it's just kind of like a largest hub world where you look at stuff in the museum. You know, it's not like a proper 3D game. So I'm gonna kill you. There we are. So, yeah. But, again, like, it really does kind of feel like Sega just did not properly prioritize their big Genesis IPs like they really should have. Like, Die Hard Arcade, aka Dynamite Cop. Like, that is a really good 3D beat-em-up on the Saturn that, like, you know, they use the Die Hard license in the U.S., but really, in terms of like game licenses, they really would have been better off just making that a Street Fighter game. Like, oh, sorry, Streets of Rage, because like Streets of Rage was huge on the Genesis, and you know they just abandoned it completely on the Saturn. Like I think the only game that made any sort of transition from the Genesis to the Saturn was like Shinobi Legions. Of course, that was like a 2D game that utilized live-action FMVs for its cutscenes. I know it was not well received back in the day, but I think that's one of those games that is generally considered to be better now. Now that people have a higher opinion of 32-bit 2D games.
Well, I mean, at this point, like, what that means is kind of like the whole 32-bit aspect is kind of meaningless at this point. Like, it was barely a thing to begin with, but it means even less now than it did back in the day, we'll say.
Well, I'm talking about 2D games made in this era of gaming, obviously.
Sure. I mean, some
32-bit is just one way of referring to an era. You can also say 5th generation.
Well, I think like the aesthetic of it and where that has landed is just kind of, okay, what if we make something that vaguely gestures at 16-bit games, but is just a bit nicer with some effects that a 16-bit game could not actually do.
Well, I'm literally talking about like games made in the 32-bit era.
I'm
like, yeah, like 2D games. Like part of the reason why that's happened is because 2D games are like thought of much more highly now than they were in the mid to late 90s.
Sure.
when they were just regarded as, you know, old hat retro stuff. That's, you know, why would anyone want to play this now when we've got when we've got full 3D? Like I distinctly remember the tail end of that era, which was during the 6th gen. But apparently, like, from what I have read from, like, reviews and stuff, it was really, like, going hardcore back during the late 90s. Like, if it was in 3D, it wasn't worth looking at. Which I guess is one reason why, like, I think, was it Sony that refused to localize any 2D games, or did SEGA also do that?
I think it was Sony, but specifically, yeah, you said localize. Yeah, they had to stick up their butt for a bit. I think they eventually did get some RPGs, but
well,
they really did push
Final
it
Fantasy
as a 3D console. Yeah.
I've got to mention, like, Final Fantasy VII did, like, change a lot of things for RPGs specifically. Like, I think even Panzer Dragoon Saga used that in its marketing.
Yeah. But yeah, they were kind of sensitive about, you know, appearing like they were the hottest, greatest, newest, and 2D games, they weren't part of that, and obviously that's a stupid way to look at it, but...
Yeah, but,
you know.
like, I mean, I don't know, the PlayStation was the first console to sell 100 million units.
Yeah.
And unlike the PS2, it didn't do that by also being, like, a media player.
Yeah. What? You're right, but it was kind of a novelty that it was a CD player at that time.
Oh, sure, but, like, at that point, like, you could play CDs on the Sega Saturn and the Sega CD and, you know, other...
Sure.
Like...
Well,
the
and
N64
consoles that people actually owned.
The N64 is basically the exception at that point.
Well, N64 chased the cartridge format in ways that was probably not wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, we need to be able to charge. We need to be able to charge publishers to have cartridges manufactured. I mean, we need to have 0 load times.
Oh crap! Oh, I'm about to run out of time. Darn! I thought I already got the idiot for this one. I must have missed it.
I will say this, for all the complaints about Switch 2 having, like, you know, the expenses associated with it, with its expensive game cards and the new memory format.
Yeah, the
the SD card express. as someone who still plays Switch games on occasion, having no or much more limited load times will be real nice.
Yeah, like that was a big problem with the Switch, and that is a big change that the other console makers introduced this generation.
People had their complaints whenever Sony switched to its memory card format, where you had to get like a very specific grade of M2 SSD, and people had a hard time figuring like, okay, which ones actually work and which ones don't. But the end results, like, I heard nothing but really positive praise for, like, no, it just goes. It just works.
And like, one thing I do appreciate about Sony is that unlike Nintendo, Sony and Microsoft, like, they kept the external memory compatible for like the older generation of games. Like, you can still
okay. Use... I was about to say, like, wait. Xbox does not have like an external drive thing. You buy their proprietary crap and you plug it into their stupid slot. Yeah, if you're talking about older stuff, sure.
Yeah, like both the Xbox Series and the PlayStation 5 both both let you utilize your old school external hard drives.
I'm kind of wary of that, because immediately I would think, like, okay, how would that work for the Nintendo console? Like, am I going to keep multiple SD cards?
I mean, I would think they would just let you put in your old SD card and you can only play old Switch games off of it. Like,
So then I have to remove my current SD card in order to then plug in another one to play Mario?
No, like, if you ever get...
Well, that's what you're describing.
No, what I'm describing is, like, you keep Switch 2 games on the internal, and you use Switch games on the external. That is what I do on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series.
Okay.
And, like, eventually, you know what, I'll get that better external memory or SD card express, and... hey, now I can have more Switch 2 games and Switch 1 games.
God, imagine... I'm just trying to imagine, though, like, Animal Crossing without the load times. Oh.
Yeah, I heard those could get pretty bad. Okay, so it is 3:07. So, next up... let me take a quick look at the schedule. So
there's a couple things going on here.
Yeah.
We have a handful of people.
We have Breton Boy, who started at 2, runs until 4. Polly B, who has the same time slot. Red Hawk Sonic, who's also currently going and goes until 5. Wow, we do have a lot of people, and the Crazy Gamer, who's running from 2 to 6. So you can tune into any of them.
Hey, okay, yeah, I will tell you, most of these people are on YouTube. You probably have half a sense of what they are, where they might be at. I tried to, so SDH443 popped in to say they're doing stuff with it. I do not see them on the schedule. I did not hear them in the thing, unless they are someone who I don't know who they are, but I guess if you're in chat, you can look at their thing and look at it. I think we're gonna go ahead and...
SCH443 came back? Okay, I'm seeing that now.
They came back, they said, hey, we're looking for people... I don't know who they are. They're not on the schedule. I was just gonna go ahead and I think we're gonna probably raid Polly. So...
yeah. Okay. So we can raid. I assume you're gonna do that. I assume.
I sure hope so.
Okay. Oh, awesome. And be sure to tune in tomorrow at 12 p.m., where we'll be going over lots of Sonic spin-offs. And until then, see you later.
Peace out, y'all.